Thank you all so much for coming in. I super appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I want to start with the most important question, I think. Does Jeff Bezos watch your show? Because I figure he is the one who would like agree. You know, he has the ability to, I heard, make things.
I'm certain he knows of us.
I text with him a lot, but I realize I haven't asked him that question. I should probably push that one.
That's the question you should ask.
Yeah.
He hasn't seen season 2 because we won't let him.
Actually, he did compliment Ben at a party about the show, and you could tell from the conversation that he'd seen it.
Oh, really? I didn't know
That's
that.
not even making it up.
That's
That's
cool.
actually true.
The mic.
That's not even making it up. That's actually true.
Right, but I mean.
But that doesn't mean that
Sure.
any more than that.
But in all, so I know that with a lot of this, with streaming, a lot of times they're very careful. Amazon, Netflix, all the companies, they don't like revealing stuff. But I was so happy that you guys got a second season because the truth is they had canceled a lot of their shows, and I was super nervous that it was not going to get picked up. So I'm just throwing out there. I don't know where I was throwing out there, but I'm just super happy you guys got a second season.
The answer is yes.
We rejoice. Yeah.
We feel like we're a legacy show there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Going into season 2, I am curious. You obviously think about the arc and what you want to do. How much from when you first started thinking about it to what people are going to see on screen? How much did it change along the way, or was it always what you were envisioning? You know what I mean?
From the beginning?
Yeah, when you thought about season 2 and what you wanted to accomplish.
Season 2. It went through a lot of living change. I think that the core ideas remain the same all the way throughout, which were essentially the Tick and Arthur get to start to be superheroes in the city. The city starts to become an up and running superhero kind of place. Everything just gets up and moving. All the characters step into the next phase of their sort of ensemble and familyhood. But along the way, it came to pass that we ended up in a lot of rewrites. The storylines, the breaking, and just the sort of way that reality met the making of this required a lot of ongoing rewriting. So it became actually, in terms of evolution, it became a collaborative project for, I think, everybody to sort of sit down on every day's shooting and kind of sit down with the material we're going to do and add to it. Almost every day.
The good news is we're very close to locking down a final draft for episode 1.
Yes,
I think
what you
we're
guys
within a
saw,
day or two.
that's really close
Very
to
close.
what you will see.
1 or 2 passes away from being good.
Yeah.
It's a
I
choose
think
your own
we've got a
adventure
great concept
situation.
for the 10th episode.
Right. But one of the things about making a show is, and a lot of people might not think about it, there's like an infrastructure where how much can you accomplish in your 7-day shoot, your 8-day shoot?
Of course.
How many VFX shots are you allowed to do? What did you learn on the first season that you applied to the second season? Because obviously I'm sure there's that learning curve.
Yes.
You know?
I mean, from the making of it, I would say, anytime we have a special effect, make it add to the characters, make it be of or for the characters. Like the season before had moments of spectacle that were kind of just spectacle, which was fun, but it was better when those moments were turned for one of the characters that we care about, and that actually was part of a sort of shift in operating philosophy. Maybe that's a bit heady.
It was.
Okay, here, you hold the mic.
Oh, this is a bit heavy.
I told you.
For the actors, I really enjoyed. I've seen I'm going to run this after release, and I've seen most of the season, and I thought all of you guys had great arcs this season. Talk a little bit about the arc of the season and what you really enjoyed doing with the season.
This is post.
This is
people have
post-release.
seen it,
Yes.
Although we don't need to give away everything.
Yes.
What? So
My question is probably not very good.
No. The question was I'll be honest with you. It wasn't the best question. It wasn't the best. It was hardly a question. It was like talk about stuff.
Yeah, no. By the way, I own it. I still am
good.
amazed that I have this job every day.
It's a really important moment for everybody, just for all coming out here. No, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm not stalling.
Let's repeat the question.
What was after the fact, this being released, post-release, what is the thing we enjoyed most about the complete arc of our character, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, nicely done. Still doesn't make it any easier to answer.
Keeping in mind he hasn't seen 9 and 10 yet.
That is also true.
Oh,
I've seen the
okay.
first 8.
I'll say Arthur's a very nervous character, and I'm a very nervous person, and I think the interesting arc was to try to hit a zone of a little more comfort. You know, like Arthur has to hit like cruising altitude in terms of figuring out how to make this like sustainable for the rest of his life, this relationship and this career and all his relationships and all of that. So it was like trying to find a way to coast into a character that's more comfortable when it felt like the work I was doing in season 1 was so largely defined by being panicked and terrified about everything that was going on. You want to make Arthur a little more confident without making him, I don't know, not Arthur anymore.
I like the way that when you get recognized and flirted with by pretty girls, you completely just like it looks like you're seeing Jackie Earle Haley again. You're just going, thank you. You know?
That was a very deliberate choice I made throughout the season. Anytime there's a
I
character,
actually thought you were talking about real life.
both,
Right.
both. But I think Arthur cannot process the idea that someone would be attracted to him.
that's
So
a
every
lot.
time it's met with like skepticism.
Who are you working for?
People being nice to him is like, what is your game here?
I also like how you quietly end all possibility by just go, I like his style too.
Yeah,
Over.
yeah.
That
I
was
think he
gonna
looks
happen.
cute.
Okay, well, it's like that then.
Did you
Okay.
see his butt in this thing?
Yeah.
For Overkill, I like that he actually gets to a point where he even not only does he actually care for and have feelings for other people, some of these people, he actually gets to a point where he might even acknowledge that and actually like possibly, you know, let people know that he actually cares whether they live or die or not. So for me, that was you are the people. Yeah, you are the people in my life. Yeah, and that's it. That's it. Yeah.
Next
I'm
time.
gonna take this because I.
No,
Do you want to talk about the tea bag? Whatever you just did there. Okay.
Brennan's T wants to say something.
I feel tremendously gratified by what we accomplished with Dot this season because it's been an ongoing conversation between Ben and I from the very beginning of the series about his desire to subvert the role that Dot has traditionally played and that sort of archetype plays within the genre. As just the supportive kind of emotional ground, the caretaker, and automatically being relegated to that role in this very like male-dominated world and genre. And it's something that we didn't quite get there in season 1. You know what I mean? It was something that we were investigating, and then season 2, it's amazing how much has broken open for her, and also the way that that's been dealt with. It's not just incidental that she has this arc of her own and is finding agency. It's something that everyone has to deal with in that universe, that Arthur has to deal with his caretaker no longer fulfilling that role for him, that like everyone has to contend with it. And the fact that there's allowed to be friction and that she has to sort of persevere through that. I love that, and I'm so excited and proud that Ben did that and that I, got to do that. Yeah, it was
Came out quite well.
it was hard one, and it was really awesome, and I think exciting in terms of what can be done with those characters within the genre.
Yeah, I'm giving you all like really strong props because I thought as I said at the beginning, I thought all the storylines for all the characters were really interesting, and it didn't feel like there was a B or C storyline. It just felt all like an A storyline, everything together. Cool. I guess I have to ask the most important question of the people here because someone here is not being represented. That is Dangerboat. So I need to ask about first of all.
And Yara Martinez.
Of course,
Ms. Lynn.
of course.
Yeah.
Yes, very important.
But I wanted
Missing lint.
But I'm going to jump in with Dangerboat real quick because I believe it was the first season that people were really enjoying the Arthur Dangerboat relationship. So how much was that sort of like leaning into in the second season? Because there's a lot of it. And how much fun is it to play that, and write that?
It's so weird. Like the people who watch the show, when my friends watch it, their main question is, what is it like working with Dangerboat? And my answer is, it's a set. Like, it's not, I have not met Alan Tudyk. When we're filming, I'm looking at plywood, and our, like, AD is, like, kind of going, like, Arthur, please, I love you. You know, like, I'm not, I mean, it's a one-sided thing, but then it's weird when you cut it together. Tudyk is giving such a good performance, and the puppeteering is so good, and the design of the set is so good, but it kind of speaks to like how weird filmmaking is, that it reads to people as a relationship with chemistry when it's kind of done in like separate petri dishes, and then all of them somehow edit together. But I think we were all kind of taken by how strongly people reacted to that. I mean, people feel very emotionally invested in like.
Yes.
That's the question I get is like, is Dangerboat going to get enough representation? And like, are you going to address the relationship? And like, we have like a hardcore Dangerboat relationship, like a bottle episode, the first bottle episode that takes place inside another character.
Yes.
And is about that character.
Dangerboat is the bottle.
Dangerboat's the bottle.
Yeah,
you're right.
when you're shooting these scenes, so we had usually the second AD, or no, yeah, second AD is reading Dangerboat's lines, and it would alternate. Each episode would alternate second AD. So you basically had in my mind, I had two different Dangerboats depending on what episode would, and you just got used to that being the voice and that being the character, which ends up being some of them are kind of trying to do an Alan Tudyk impersonation or a Dangerboat
I
impersonation.
live for Connor's impersonation.
Yeah, like Connor, like they had seen season 1, so they were trying to like do their season. So season 2, they're trying to kind of do their impression of it. So it's funny to try to work with, and they're not actors. They're great. No disrespect to them, but you know,
They're
you
doing
have
a
two
different
ones.
job than
Yeah.
acting.
That's another funny thing, though, is like now we can go into it and be like, oh, I know what Tudyk's interpretation of the character sounds like. I can sort of imagine it in my head. He got cast late into us filming. So all throughout season 1, we were like, we have no idea how this is going to be played. Like, we know what the dialogue is, but we don't know what kind of voice they're going to hire and what their take on the character is going to be. And it is just like the things somehow come together.
I have a question for you. What is it like being able to turn your head in the costume?
In the costume.
You can you turn you can turn your head in the costume now, can't you?
I can, yes.
Sort of.
More so than before.
Yeah, I can, but it's it's just I consistently remind myself that I'm just wearing normal human clothes. You know, if ever I'm feeling in a grump one day and like, I just think I'm wearing human clothes. It puts a spring in my step.
I really want to know now, after this first season, when everyone knows what the costume's going to look like, although in the second season it changed a little bit, how much for all of you do you want to go to like the Starbucks down the street in costume and like, just have some fun with it? And how much is it sort of like you are not allowed to do that?
I don't. We shoot it on location a fair amount, where we're walking around in those costumes, and I've been pretty amazed how consistently people just don't care.
It's New York.
It's New York,
probably
and
saw someone doing that hour.
I'll come out. I think the first time I came out of my trailer, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be fun," and like 4 families walked past me. Like maybe one of them looked and went, "Yeah," and then that was it. I was like, "Oh, right, it's." Who cares?
I remember filming in Harlem, and this guy walking. It's just people like just on their way to work, and most people ignoring me, and then one guy who he looked like he worked for like the Daily Planet. I remember like a trilby on, and he walked past, and he didn't even look. He said, "Nice costume, Tick." He didn't even look at me.
Shoulder. I remember when we were doing the pilot, actually, we filmed in a real apartment for Arthur's apartment, and then later we built a set that replicated that, but we were on like a 3rd floor walk up, and I was sort of like sitting in the window trying to get some air because it was not very well ventilated, and then I saw people across the street like pointing at like, why is that guy in a bunny suit? So then I just started dancing in the window, and I did it for about 20 minutes, and I think people were entertained by it, but no one was like, what is going on? They're like, oh, it must be some like webcam sex show or something. I'm getting a little piece. It must be some fetish object.
By the way, the headline of this interview is Why the Tick is a webcam sex show.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, fetish object.
You know the way I flip it around.
That'll get clicks.
Right.
People will
Yeah,
click.
clickbait. I'm all about that on Collider.
That makes
Absolutely.
You want collisions, I think.
Listen, I could ask you guys seriously a million other questions, and I have a whole bunch, but the fact is you have to do a poster signing.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to
We're too
say,
famous.
Right, exactly. Too famous for Collider. I get the way it is. But, and I'll say this on camera, I really loved the first 8 episodes of season 2. I think you guys did such a great job, and I sincerely hope you guys get to make a season 3.
Thanks,
For real.
dude.
Thank
Thank
Our
you.
sincere
Thank
hope
you.
as well.
You guys enjoyed signing posters and whatnot and meeting the fans. Thank you so much.